Okay, great. So, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we're doing, also in the lines of what quality assurance was shown earlier, but not with static data, but with dynamic data. It's very much work in progress, but I'd like to just present on what we're working on. To explain that, I'd like to set a bit of a context. So I'm Philipp, I'm one of the founders of a company called Skobbler, and our key business is basically providing navigation and map solutions on OpenStreetMap. We're now actually close to 80 people, I think. We have now more than 4 million users, so I definitely need to update the slide. And actually we're a company who's making money, so we're profitable since Q4 2011, based on OpenStreetMap. So there can be actually also money made, which would have been an alternative topic I talk about. But I think here people are more interested in technology than in money, so I'll stick to the technology part. So, what is the key problem about OpenStreetMap and navigation? Is that in OpenStreetMap, if you classify the roads wrong, then exactly this happens if you squeeze the cars through that. And you could not imagine how many people I get who are writing me emails that they're going to sue us because they almost died in the street because they followed our advice, which was not so good. Which I said, well, you should still look on the street, so if you die, then your problem, not ours. But we're trying to make it better and fix it that you don't die next time. But at the end, that's basically the point. So the key problems is that, I mean, the one problem which OSM has for navigation purposes is that the ground truth rule. If you look at Navtag maps and TomTom maps, they don't follow the ground truth principles, right? So ground truth says that only what you can observe somewhere as a fact can be mapped. But TomTom or Navtag, they have the data, for example, what's the average movement speed at a segment? And that cannot go to an OSM. No, definitely cannot. The OSM community will kill you if you put it on there. We've tried, trust me. Trust me with that. So there's definitely a clear regulation. Then there's functional classes. So there's something like what the government thinks the road is, but let's say if you have two motorways and in between there's so smart building a small segment which is just a minor road, if you don't have that classified right, then your router might not see it, because if you build a high quality and high performance router, it might not see everything. So things like functional classes or speed profiles, this is like really problems which are fundamental in OSM for navigation, which we have to address. So the good thing is that with floating car data you can generate most of that data and automatically do that. What we did is we also launched something heatmap.skobbler.net, which you can see is live, where we visualize our probes. You can go there, you can even download our raw track data if you want to. So we've put in a couple of gigabytes of tracks online. So we have like, I don't know, we have like every day we generate a couple of million kilometers. I think it's like, I don't know the distance in kilometers, but it's like 6-7 times to the moon and back every day. So you can figure it out on what distance that should be. But we have quite a lot of data for more than 1 million cars every month who are sending us data. As you can see, it's pretty focused in Germany, but you can actually look at it live and download the data and then see basically use this as a mapping background. What I also, considering the limited time, I'll go a bit over this. This is basically showing why functional classes are important. You can have the slides later and look into that. And speed profiles are very different. So we have a tool, which I can give you just a very quick glimpse into, which is basically a JOSM plugin. So here you can see basically the area of Berlin, and you can see basically two things. We should be able to see two things. So first of all, you see that we have the streets colored differently. So the red streets are basically where the people are moving faster, and green is also faster, blue is slow. So this is the city center of Berlin. So this is one information that we can see basically movement speed, which are very different from the real speeds on the map. And the second thing which you can see is how many probes we have. So the very wide roads, the very thick roads are the ones where we have over 1,000 probes on that road. So we have over 1,000 people who are going over that road. So we have quite a lot of data there. And then you can drill, with this tool, you can drill into the data. You can see basically which turns are the people taking. You can see from which roads are they coming into a certain road. You can see a lot of different things. So we have like, unfortunately this resolution is not really working very well. But you can see we have like, I can select a segment, and I can see a speed profile. You can see on the right side, you can see basically, you can see the length of that segment, you can have the class, you say that in which orientation it's going, you can see different percentile speeds, so you see like how fast are they going. You can even go like and drill into detail and understand like we have different time segments. We can say Monday morning at 8 o'clock, people on this are going with this speed and so on. So you can do quite a lot for route calculation and so on. And yeah, so that's basically some of the internal tools which we use, which we would of course like to open at that point. And at some point also. So just back a bit to what we can already do. So turn restriction is definitely one thing. One-ways, you can detect things like roundabouts from additional sensors in the car quite easily. And the things that we're working on is now we're using the Twitter Storm framework to use it also for real-time analysis. Not so much for traffic, we're sourcing this data, but more for seeing where there's a construction site popping up, where there's a new road popping up and so on. And then we could go like and say, hey, there's like something changed in the map data, maybe somebody wants to go and map it because we have quite a lot of people doing that. So that's one of the very early projects that we're working on. And the second thing which we're also working on is like camera tools. It's also very early, so it's not going to be there before next year. That you can like basically film video map. There was some talks about that yesterday as well. But what we want to do is automatic sign recognition, so that basically you can recognize the signs and it can tell you, okay, somebody drove past there it says this is this sign, because then you don't need to do all the audio mapping, because you just need to leave it on the windshield and it's going to be mapped. So I'm now way over the 5 minutes, so I'm going to be leaving it at that. So that's just a quick glimpse into what we're doing, and of course if you have time, any questions are welcome or later on the vote.
Thank you.